I just watched the Thunderbolts the other day, and I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. Something about the trailer made me think it was about to be another Disney flop, and the cast of Marvel benchwarmers didn't help at all. I felt like this was going to be the Suicide Squad with the Disney coat of paint on it, but it was more like Guardians of the Galaxy, where a bunch of unknown and unloved characters come together to form a group greater than the sum of their parts. All of these characters are from some of Marvel's biggest flops. They managed to take Black Widow's dad and sister, the dollar store version of Captain America, and who's this? Ghost from the second Ant-Man? Yeah, I can't even remember her. That movie was so forgettable. But they combined all of them and made them carry the whole movie. You have to be a Marvel superfan to even remember all these characters. But to be fair, I think it was a strategic move on Disney's part. They didn't brush past the fact that these characters are unloved and uncared for. In fact, it was a major plot point of the movie. A lot of time is spent trying to humanize and make us sympathize with these characters. Which brings me to the thing that makes it stand out from all the other slop that's been coming out. This movie starts out like most superhero movies before it, where we see our main character doing some cool fight scenes, she's facing physical struggles, sure, but that's not what's really holding her back. It's the mental battles, the pain, and the emptiness that are taking a toll on her. The movie's main character is Yelena, Black Widow's sister a year after her death. She's dealing with the loss of someone close to her and throwing herself into her work to distract herself from the pain, but the work she's doing isn't meaningful, so she just ends up feeling empty. She wants to find purpose, to do good, so that she can feel good, but she needs to do one more job before she can go through with that. That's where we meet the rest of the team. They're all in the same job, but unknowingly. There's a bigger threat at hand, though, that forces them to have to work together and form an unlikely group of ragtag anti-heroes to get out alive. This is where one of my minor complaints for the movie comes in. It's kind of spoilery, but actually really inconsequential. Taskmaster, who's in a bunch of the promo for this movie and was a character who I thought would have a lot of screen time, literally is only shown for a minute before they kill her off. She really had no purpose to the plot. They could have cut her out of the movie and you would have never known she was even in it. The story honestly could have benefited from less characters though. With Yelena, we're able to spend time with her and get to know why she is the way she is, why she's going through these struggles. She doesn't have anyone she can talk to, so we see her rant to anyone she can. It kind of reminds me of Conquest from Invincible, only being vulnerable with people who won't live long enough to betray your trust. I saw someone say that Yelena is a better character than Black Widow, and I have to agree. She's flawed, but she's human. Black Widow, on the other hand, was just too perfect, a super spy with no real struggles. It's why people don't like Superman. A god in a cape is hard to relate to, but Yelena, she's raw, broken, and trying to figure it out. That's the kind of hero Marvel needs, which is why I think this movie's antagonist is one of the best ones we've seen in the MCU. It was such a refreshing change of pace for the third act of this movie not to be another stupid CGI mess, and instead, we get a really thought out ending that felt like a meaningful conclusion to everyone's story. Well, kind of. There were just a few characters who I felt like they really didn't contribute anything. The biggest offender of this has to be Bucky, who just felt like a way to get butts in seats. He didn't really have a character arc, which it makes sense because he already went through it in Civil War. But you could have replaced him with literally any other popular Marvel character and nothing would have changed. I also feel the same way about Ghost. It felt like she was just in the movie because her powers were useful, but we didn't get to actually see her personality shine through like other characters. I think she's more fleshed out in Ant-Man 2, but I really don't remember that movie. Okay, I kind of feel like I'm dogging on all these characters now, but I don't like Alexei. He's good when he's not forced to be the comedic relief, but when he is, I find him really annoying. And most of the time, that's really the only purpose he serves. But that's fine because we get Bob in this movie. His character was one we don't really see often. He just felt like a regular person, someone not used to a world full of superpowered individuals. He's not fighting gods and monsters or global threats, but he is dealing with personal struggles, like so many people out there. Bob's past is messy and full of trauma. There was literally a scene where we see him high on meth, which I never thought I would see in a Marvel movie. The way they portray his mental health is taken seriously, which we don't see often, and while I don't super love how they resolve the final conflict, I think the movie's end was satisfying. But I think it honestly would have benefited from another 20 minutes of runtime. The second half felt very rushed, especially compared to the first half, where the stakes are lower and it's just 4 people in one room. There was one scene where we get to see John Walker, aka Wish.com Captain America's past. And it was really good insight into his character, but it's like they wanted to tease us because he spends the rest of the movie acting like a douchebag and being the butt of the joke. There were plenty of times where his character could have been developed, but he ended up just taking a backseat to other characters. That's really all the negatives I had for this movie. It was a really fun experience. I enjoyed the smaller scale of the danger that was there for the most part, and hope we can get more character-focused Marvel movies in the future. I think this movie is a step in the right direction and has definitely restored some of my excitement for MCU releases. I was really confused about the asterisk in the title of this movie, but then it's explained that the real name of the movie is The New Avengers, and I think that was a really fun little detail to add. I was kind of confused at how Marvel was going to drop Avengers Doomsday in a year, and there was no build up to it. But this movie managed to set it up without making it the sole purpose of the film. I want to go 8 on this movie, but I just feel like I can't justify it being that high, so I'm going to give it a 7.5. Let me know down in the comments if you agree. What did you think of this movie though? And what would you rate it? If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.
Bye, have a great time.